If you work in accounting or finance, stop scrolling because something big is happening at the top of our profession. Let's talk about the biggest firms in the world. They are spending billions on artificial intelligence. And in doing so, they're rewriting audit, tax, and they are changing how advisory is delivered. They're cutting people, they're retraining other people, they're reshaping what it means to build a career in accounting. Between late 2024 and 2025, the big four firms cut more than 4,000 jobs. The major workforce reduction, the biggest one over a decade. You may be thinking, well, I just work for myself. I'm an enrolled agent, I'm a tax specialist. I'm even in a mid-tier firm, but I'm not in the big four. What do we learn here? Well, they're proving three things that everyone else in accounting and finance should pay attention to. Number one, they're shifting from scale to skill. Headcount is no longer the driver of revenue, it's capability. Number two, what do we learn? They're replacing repetitive work with reasoning work. And number three, they're betting on judgment. What do I mean by this? If you work in accounting or finance, stop scrolling because something big is happening at the top of our profession. It's already rippling down to everybody else. Let's talk about the biggest firms in the world, accounting firms, PwC, Deloitte, EY, KPMG. They are spending billions on artificial intelligence. And in doing so, they're rewriting audit, tax, and they are changing how advisory is delivered. They're cutting people, they're retraining other people, they're reshaping what it means to build a career in accounting. People are going to accounting. A lot of them aspire to the big four, don't they? That's where they get their start. That's their badge of honor. And I'm not talking about robots replacing people. That's a well-worn narrative, and that's in a lot of sectors. But I'm talking about the accounting profession reinventing itself in real time. Welcome to Accounting Voices. I'm Rob Brown, and this episode is one of three that I'm doing on the Big Four AI race, a little mini-series to help you as an accounting finance professional understand what's really going on at the top and what that means for the rest of us. Because yes, the top people employ thousands and thousands, but the brunt of the accounting profession is below that. So what does it mean for all of us? And then over the next three episodes, I'm going to break down who's investing what, who's winning, and what the ambitious professionals like you can learn to stay credible and competitive in an AI-driven profession. So let's talk about the scale of the shift. Between late 2024 and 2025, the big four firms cut more than 4,000 jobs. The major workforce reduction, the biggest one over a decade. PwC alone cut 5,600 globally, including 1,500 in the US. KPMG reduced its audit headcount by more than 500. These are all in the press, citing automation and lower turnover. Deloitte trimmed 800 consulting and advisory roles, while shed senior partners and merged business units. Now, these are not isolated events. They're part of a very strategic pivot. Why are they letting these people go? Well, all of these big four firms are betting on AI to deliver more client work with fewer people. It's a shift from manpower to mind power. That's the soundbite. And from doing the work to explaining what the work is and what it means for clients. So I'm going to go through these big four and let's see what they're doing. PwC is the scale player. So they've gone biggest. They've committed $1 billion to AI initiatives. They've partnered with Microsoft and OpenAI. They're giving over 100,000 staff access to GPT-4 tools. They've got a next generation audit platform that automates the sampling, the risk flagging. It turns days of work into hours. They've even built their own legal and tax co-pilots through Harvey.ai to help their professionals research faster and draft faster. But their signature move is actually something different. It's assurance for AI. They want to audit the algorithms themselves to help clients prove their models are ethical, accurate, and compliant. Because in this crazy world, there are three really important words: ethical, accurate, compliant. That's PwC. KPMG are running a data integrator model. So they've gone all in on Microsoft Fabric. It's a unified data platform. It links audit, tax, advisory data all in real time. They've got a Clara platform that now uses AI to review contracts, identify risk, summarize findings. They've also built Ava. This is an internal generative assistant. It supports more than 140 countries. So it's cross-border, cross-cultural. And KPMG's edge isn't just data, it's governance. So they've trained their people in trusted AI principles. They've taught their auditors to challenge machine outputs, to test logic and report uncertainty. And their focus is not so much speed, it is trust. And we know that's a premium criteria in the world of AI, particularly in accounting. Let's talk about Deloitte. They are the ethics leader. So their answer is Pair D. So they built their own internal chatbot built on OpenAI's models. Pair D helps teams handle contracts, research, and internal comms securely. They're expanding across audit, tax, and risk advisory with very strict ethical guardrails. And what makes Deloitte different is how it talks about AI. So they lead with integration and inclusion. They even partner with the accessibility platform Scope to train people with disabilities to use AI productively. They've got an AI institute and a global ethics framework, and this makes them out of the top 4 the most vocal about governance and risk. And in their words, AI just doesn't remove accountability, it raises accountability. And finally, let's talk about EY. What's their play? Well, they are the innovators. They're the R&D powerhouse when it comes to AI. They've got an ev.ai ecosystem powered by Microsoft Azure. It's one of the largest private AI platforms in the world. It houses EYQ, that's their secure generative workspace where teams collaborate across tax, audit, consulting. They've got EY Labs. So they're testing new use cases every quarter, from sustainability analytics to fraud detection to generative advisory tools. And where the other big 4 are integrating, EY is innovating. They're creating AI agents that help teams collaborate, write reports, visualize the data faster. And they're training their staff not just to use AI, but to advise on it and turning accounting into a strategic tech council offering. So what's the takeaway for you here? Now you know what these players are doing. You may be thinking, well, I just work for myself. I'm an enrolled agent. I'm a tax specialist. I'm a fractional CFO. I'm an accountant in a very small firm. I run my own firm. I'm even in a mid-tier firm, but I'm not in the big 4. What do we learn here? Well, they're proving 3 things that everyone else in accounting and finance should pay attention to. Number 1, they're shifting from scale to skill. So a headcount is no longer the driver of revenue. It's capability. So they're shifting from scale to skill. What can they do? What are they good at? What are the competencies? What's the capability? Number 2, what do we learn? They're replacing repetitive work with reasoning work. So if a bot can do it, it's no longer a career ladder. It's no longer something that a human can do. So they're asking the questions, could a machine do this? If yes, how? What's the best way? So number 2, they're replacing repetitive work with reasoning work. And number 3, they're betting on judgment. What do I mean by this? Well, each Big 4 firm is investing more in critical thinking, discernment, communication, context, human oversight. They're betting on judgment. So what can you do about all of this? Well, this is what we do in the Accounting Voices podcast. We give you practical applications to keep you credible, to keep you competitive, to keep you relevant, whatever size firm, whatever situation you are in. That's the whole thrust of this show. So number 1 is be open about AI and publish your policy. Even a 1-page, it builds confidence, it builds trust. Show clients that your people are still making some decisions, but you are using AI, and show them where you're using it. So you should have a policy. I hesitate to say use ChatGPT or AI to write your AI policy because that might be a little bit close, but there must be 1,000 different AI policies out there, and you can integrate one that reflects your values, your statement of intent with AI. Publish your AI policy. That's the first takeaway for you. Very practical. Number 2 is pick 3 use cases. It could be 1 in audit, 1 in tax, 1 in advisory, or if you don't do some of those, some people don't do audit. Make it something niche, something specialist. 3 advisory use cases. Define the workflow, define the human sign-off, define the AI involvement, and double down on those. So work with these use cases and amplify them. I worked with a guy called Chris Johnson from CJ CPAs out of San Antonio, Texas. He only does audit 401ks, and particularly in the construction industry. So his use cases are very, very specific. But what he does is he works on them and doubles down on them, and he's defined the workflow, and he knows where the AI starts and ends and the human sign-off is involved. Number 3, practical application, train for judgment. So learn to question, learn to test, learn to verify. I did an interview with Chris recently. I work with a few accounting leaders, owners, tech people. I interview them once a month. And we turn those stories into video snippets and thought leadership and authority pieces. And I did some AI research and I asked ChatGPT to analyze Chris Johnson's posts on LinkedIn. He's very prolific on LinkedIn. You should really follow him. He's documenting his journey with AI and he's very much on the bleeding edge. And I said, look at his posts for the last 30 days. This is in October. And pick me out some sound bites and things that he said, things that he's gone public on. And we picked out a quote that he actually didn't say. And then it attributed it to Reddit, and Chris isn't on Reddit. So I'm learning too. So we train for judgment. We learn to question, test, verify. It's good career insurance. It's good due diligence. It's good prudence in an automated world. And thanks, Chris, for being understanding on that one. And then lastly, show your work in public. So share examples, share lessons, share outcomes. Visibility builds trust. We talk a lot about it here on Accounting Voices, where we say, share your journey, share what you're learning, share what you're doing. You don't have to name names, but you can talk about it. Even if nobody's watching, well, people will watch, but you're not searching for likes and validation. You're just putting it out there and you documenting what you're doing, building your authority, building your credibility, building your visibility, talking it through, teaching yourself as you write this stuff. It's really good for your personal brand. We want you to stay relevant. We want you to stay informed. And this is what the Accounting Voices is all about. That's the end of this episode. I'm going to dig a little bit more into what the top 4 are doing in the next 2 episodes. And we're going to share more with you so that you can stay in the game, stay really active, and show that you have power. You have control. You have the hands on the steering wheel of your own career. So check us out on YouTube. We're very active there. We've got a growing YouTube following. We're also on LinkedIn. We've got an Accounting Voices company page. Share that, follow that. And if you're so inclined, we have a gathering called the Accounting Voices Collective. It takes place every few months. The next one's in December as we record this, 2025, and you can get together with a few hundred other accounting, tech professionals, finance professionals, coaches, consultants, trainers. We're all in the accounting space. We get together for an hour on Zoom. It's virtual, it's free. We have some breakouts, we have some fun. Just go to the Accounting Voices company page on LinkedIn and you can find out all about it. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. We'll see you on the next episode of the Accounting Voices podcast.